In this session, we're going to be focusing on creating openings for doors and opening for windows. We're going to be focusing on two things. One, it's going to be custom windows that we're going to be designing, and two, uh, windows that we're going to be downloading into our site. So, for example, if we are downloading a window into our site, we may want to make sure that every single one of the opening that we have create will be the same dimension so that when we copy the window, it'll be a lot easier. But for the one that are custom, we can just go ahead and create that custom window in preparation for it now. So for example, I will go and cut holes into this building by going into the component by double clicking using the selection tool. Double click to go inside the instant. And now we are inside the instant. Here is an example of a window that I want to make a very custom one. So there's no way I'm going to be able to download a window that's going to fit perfectly into this site. So therefore, I'm going to create a window frame using the offset tool, which is the letter F on the keyboard, or the offset tool is going to be this icon right here. The way it works is you click once, you can drag it out, and therefore you can actually create a dimension for it. I'm going to use the push and pull. I'm going to pull this out just a hair, just a tiny little bit to create a window frame, kind of like this. Okay, now that I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and select this opening. I'm gonna press delete on that just as a placeholder so I know that's where my window is gonna be. But I'm gonna go back in later to create the glass for it. Let's go ahead and create door openings and window openings now, and I want to keep it consistent. So for example, if I go into this component here and I want to create a door opening, I want to keep everything 10 feet tall for all my doors, and that's also already a custom door because standard doors are only 6 feet 7 inches. So I'm gonna take the line tool. I'll say I want to do it right here. I'm gonna go up this way. I'm gonna type in 10 feet, enter. I can draw it over this way. Typical door are about 3 feet wide. But if I want to do like double doors, I can do 6 feet wide. I can type in 6 feet, enter, and create a little section like this. Notice how I'm able to select this surface. Now I can press delete. This is going to be just a placeholder for all my doors and window when I download that stuff in. So for example, if I want to go ahead and put in windows a certain area, like on this side, I can create the same set of windows and multiply or copy it over and over again. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try one and show you how to do this. I'm gonna take this, I want this whole side to be a lot of different windows. So I'm gonna go ahead and say create some custom size window. I wanna keep it consistent. I type in 10 feet tall, a big glass window, and I wanna be 6 feet wide as well. So I wanna have really large windows, 6 feet wide. So pretty large in context of regarding to if you were experiencing the space. Of course, and this model is really large. This model is really large, so it looks small, but I think that's perfect size. I can uh, I can literally replicate this, like draw 10 feet over and things like that. Or I can just do this. I can double click and select everything I want. Press M for move and press the letter Option. A little plus sign will appear. Notice that you see a little plus sign. I can now just grab from an endpoint and drag it over like this onto the green. There you go. Notice I can make a copy of that. And I can do many copies of this by pressing the Option key and bringing it over like this. There are a quicker way on how to do this as well, using multiplies and things like that. But this case, I want you to practice on just using the Option key and making a copy of this so you get used to making copies of your windows. So just like that, let's say this is how many windows I want. I can press delete on the keyboard now and have that ready to go for when I download Windows in. It's a lot easier. I'm gonna do one more example, and your goal is to make sure you get all the windows and door opening for the entire site. So now I gotta think about where do I want my door to be open from the bottom. So in this case, I want a really large glass, kind of like sliding glass door, accordion door on the bottom here. But I'm gonna keep it consistent again. I want it to be 10 feet tall. So 10 feet tall. But in this case, I want a really large size glass door that wrap around all the way to this side. So I'm gonna type in 40 feet, which is a really large doorway that allow me to put in later on a big giant accordion door on this side. So once I have that ready to go, I can start adding in windows and things like that as well. So I'm gonna keep it consistent again. I want floor glass, like floor to ceiling windows. I'm gonna go in this way. I'm typing 3 feet this way. I wanted some smaller, narrow windows like this. I'm gonna double click this, M for move, Option to make a copy the same way we did with the glass on the other side. I'm gonna just make a few a few windows on this side. I'm gonna do that again. And you can type in the distance you want as well. I'm just gonna be eyeballing it for this purpose. I can now delete this opening just so I can prep my where the windows and doors going to be. Your goal in this session is to go through your entire site and cut out all the holes for the windows and doors so that way you can prep for it. In our next section, we're gonna be downloading doors and creating custom windows as well.